That's
what got you into playing golf?
Man, my grandfather used to play golf. We used to go to his house. I ain't gonna lie, it's boring as fuck going to his house because he'll have golf on. He have a fucking 100 trophies up there that he won or whatever, and he'll have golf on. And we have to sit there for like 4-5 hours with my parents, and they talking, and we gotta watch golf and shit or whatever. So that kind of gave me the bug. But then, Tiger Woods, he kind of made it more popular. And then as I got older, I started meeting people as far as playing. And I was like, man, I thought about playing and shit. So it took me about I talked about it for a good 6-7 years. And finally, I got some clubs and shit. And I had some people that wanted to play. And so I got into it and it got addictive. It got, what I'm saying? When I do something, I want to get better at it. And like when podcasting, when I started, I wanted to get better at it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to keep practicing until it got comfortable. And that's how I am with golf, man. I just like playing it. And I meet a lot of motherfuckers out there. When they see a black person out there, shit, they immediately trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like they could be in a whole nother group and shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll be coming up to me or whatever. They'll be watching or whatever. And I ain't all that good yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm decent. I'm getting there. I'm practicing every day. But I have motherfuckers be like, hey, man, I seen you hit that shot. I'm like, and the buddies I'm playing with, he say, what he tell you? I'm saying, no, he ain't say, he just seen me hit the shot. He thought it was a good shot or whatever and shit. But, golfing, and it's peaceful. You don't have to, like I said, I'm in my peace mode. So I could go out there and play by myself. I don't need nobody to play with. I go there, play by myself, have me a little drink, sip, chill, think of some ideas, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and play and be creative like that. So that's what got into it. That's why I got into it. Just like gardening, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and what made you get into gardening?
I don't really know how the fuck I got into gardening.
People from certain people from the streets.
Yeah,
that's from the hood. Gardening.
I don't know how the fuck I got into gardening, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It ain't something I can just make up. I just started talking about it. Now, sometimes you see like videos and shit pop up on your whatever. And I'd be like, that shit look kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever. And then I talked about it one day. And then somebody was like, shit, I'll build you a crate or whatever if you're that serious. And I was like, shit, yo, build me a crate or whatever. So they built me a crate. You know what I'm saying? They told me what to do. Started planting some shit or whatever. And seeing it start growing. I'm in the early stages or whatever. But I'm seeing it starting to grow and shit. And it's, I got my daughter out there. My daughter can get into it. She into it or whatever. So I think it's dope growing my own shit. You know what I'm saying? And I've been posting videos of growing my own shit and people been liking it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I be chill. I be having a good time. I'll be out there dancing and shit or whatever. And I just post a video.
I think the most important thing out of all this for anybody watching, looking, paying attention is, it don't matter where you from, man. If you put your mind to anything, you can do it. This man that's sitting in front of the camera has podcasted, starred in 5 movies, have relationships with politicians, gardening, golf, family man, married man, a music fan.
Yeah.
It's really no limit to what you could do. So, whatever, hey, I'm going to be tuned in to whatever you got going on next because you never know what it's going to be.
Shit, I might start a garden series because I've been looking at the numbers. I've been looking at my numbers. You got to pay attention to your numbers and work for you. You know what I'm saying? If y'all creating content, and them numbers been crazy. I might start doing something. I start getting good at this. I might start shit. My Miracle Grow, they gonna have to start hollering at me because I'm gonna want some endorsements or something like that. But like I said, man, you never know. Like you never know in life because like we was talking about earlier, man. A 21-year-old Floyd would be like if somebody said, bro, at 44, you gonna be into golf and you gonna be gardening and doing all. I'll be like, man, get the fuck out of here. I'll be like, man, I don't want that. I'll be like, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? But when you go through life and shit, man, you start going through different avenues. You start meeting people that grew up different from how you grew up. And that's how you grow, dog, when you hang around people and you get different perspectives and shit or whatever. And that's how my life always been. Because when I went to college and shit, I wasn't really thinking about it like that. I started hanging around a couple guys I was working with, and they was going to college and shit. And one of the guys hit me, and he was like, "Man, you want to do this forever?" I was like, "Nah, hell nah." He said, "Man, why you don't just go back to college?" And I was like, "Shit, I don't know, or whatever." And I started thinking about it, and I started thinking like, "Man, I don't want to be here. What I'm gonna do and shit." So I was like, "Shit, might as well go back to college or something. I ain't doing nothing else or whatever." So I went back to that, and what I went for, I ended up transitioning to something else or whatever. But you just got to surround yourself around the right people, man, to broaden your horizon and shit. Because if, like I said, if you hang around gang bangers and shit, all you gonna know is gang banging. If you grow up around or hang around people that rob, that's all you gonna do is rob and shit. Because if you gonna want to think something different, they're gonna be like, "Oh, get the fuck away then," or whatever. So you just gotta put yourself around the right people, man, where you could grow, and then you can expand through different avenues, and you be like, "Damn, how the fuck I end up right here?" And so that's how I am right now. That's how I'm doing different shit. Like you said, from movies to podcasting to meeting different people and politicians and shit to golfing to gardening and shit, man. It's crazy. I never thought about it till you brought that shit up though. That's why I like this platform though.
Yeah, because yeah. I'm looking at it in totality. I'm looking at it from because I'm you know, I get the chance to watch the show kind of close up and personal.
Yeah,
you know
what
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get to see it. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, word, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, it's out here. It's not much to pay attention to in from an educational point or from inspirational point.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So because it's not a lot of good out here.
No,
you know
what I'm saying? It ain't really.
So when you see something good or when you see something that's different from the normal, which you always see, you know, because I don't know nothing about golf. I don't know nothing about gardening. So that's like a whole nother world for me because I don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I was like that too. I mean, when I first got into it, as far as golfing last year, I didn't know. I mean, I watched it and shit, but when you get into it, then you learn so much the technical shit, like the details. When you focus on the details of it, it's a lot of fucking details to focus on. So I didn't, you know, I went out there just raw dogging it and shit, pause or whatever. If they say that, I don't know what the fuck. But I went out there with a group of friends with no practice, nothing. And you know what I'm saying? They showed me how to swing and all that kind of shit. And then, you know what I'm saying? I started watching videos and started learning what I needed to do to get better and shit. And eventually they stopped wanting to go. They you know, started making excuses why they couldn't go. And I started going by myself. Then I started buying other shit where I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't need anybody. I got me a net at the house and all that. So, and just like with gardening and stuff, like I'm fairly new, but there's a couple of women, older women that I know, and they got gardens and they've been successful and they've been giving me tips and all that. And so, you know what I'm saying? I'm into that shit, you know, but a thing that I learned as far as gardening is grow shit that you like. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like cucumbers or broccoli, don't grow that shit because you're not going to pay attention. You don't really care. You know?
Right.
You know, if you like onions and potatoes or whatever the hell it is, then you grow that. Because then you go check on it. You're going to see if it's doing what it's doing or whatever. So, you know, like I said, and plus like the norm, man, I don't like to be like everybody else, man. I might start taking piano lessons and shit next. I don't know. I don't think I am, but you know, I like to expand my horizon and shit. I like to, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to do that norm. I think I did that norm and follow the crowd shit when I was young in high school and when I graduated. That's how I got into gangs and doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm done with that because when you follow the crowd, you really can't be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're really hiding from being yourself. And I think when you stand alone, I think Tupac said, being alone make you strong. I think Pac said that in a lyric and shit like that. And that shit stuck with me. Being alone make you strong, man. You know, you get to be yourself and you get to understand yourself and shit like that. So, and I knew that when I was young because, like I said, when we was in gangs and fighting and shit, I knew a lot of guys that was hiding behind gangs and shit because the numbers was in their favor. But you catch these guys by themselves and shit, all that rah shit by themselves, they not even the same type of cat. You know what I'm saying? They attitude change. And there was a lot of cats that I grew up with and I was just looking at and I was like, damn, bro, when you by yourself, shit, you ain't even the same cat. But when you with these 10, 15 other guys, shit, you one of the most gangster motherfuckers I know. But when you by yourself and shit, man, that energy ain't the same, man. And there's a lot of cats that was hiding behind that because, you know what I'm saying, it can, like, being alone, it can either make you weak or it can make you strong and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's how it is for me.